Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Oh, I'm in the center.
You're here. Yes, we have a special guest coming out later, but we'll just start with you.
Hi,
Antonio
Gayle.
Reid. Antonio Reid, hi. You know, one of the things I was wondering was, what is Antonio going to wear? Because he's always so dapper. Are you all aware of that? I've seen this man casually dressed, and he still looks like he's shooting a friggin' ad. But let's start with the title of the book, Sing to Me.
Yes.
What does that mean? Where did that come from?
Sing to Me, actually, the title came from a rant I was having with our team, Matt Harper from HarperCollins, who is incredible. And we were
A
sitting,
rant, that sounds angry.
I was having a rant, and I said, you know, I want a title I want something that sings to me.
Ding, 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 ding.
Right? And it was like that. And then the light bulb went off, and Matt's reaction, where are you, Matt? Anyway, Matt's reaction was like, well, that's nice. And then a couple of days later, he said, yeah, that's your title.
Yeah, sing to me.
But he did it without ever like showing any excitement or emotion. So I never thought it was good enough. And then I talked to him, and he said, no, it's actually incredible.
Well, that's kind of what you do sometimes when someone's performing for you in the office. When somebody walks in, you say, what would you like to?
Yeah, sing to
What
me.
would you like to sing? An artist who comes in, and you said you will sit there and you'll bob your head, but you never let them know whether you like it or you don't like it. Why is that?
Because I really like the idea that when I finally do what I call the reveal, that it's life-changing in the event that they are going to be signed, right? And if the answer is no, then I actually never give an answer.
You don't?
No.
What do you just
Unless
don't
it's
call
a really
back?
dear friend. Well,
You just...
I have a great team of people that work with me.
Of course. Okay. Okay.
And they deliver no much better than I do.
Okay, so
I'm very good at yes. They're very good at
So
no.
they make the call.
Yes.
But this is the other great things, guys, about the book is it's filled with pictures. I said I don't want to make this like your Christmas vacation where you go look at this picture, but I pulled out a couple that I thought were great. Okay, so this is L.A. Reid. Music at 5, you said, made you feel something. That's L.A. in the middle. What did it make you feel?
I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I was 5.
You were a cute little boy.
Thank you.
You're a cute little boy.
Thank you. I certainly didn't think that when I was 5, right? But I used to, you know, it's funny, I used to stare at the mirror a lot. Like, what was I thinking?
What were you thinking?
I'm not sure.
So you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're not...
Way too much, right?
You're not feeling anything in particular?
Anyway, at 5, I didn't feel many things, but I did feel music.
What was
right?
the first thing that you felt or you heard that you thought, music, I really like that?
I didn't understand why, like it would just stay in my head. If I hear
particular
something,
song?
Any song, the songs that I remember as a kid are It's My Party and I Cry If I Want to. And it's stuck in my head. I never forgot that song, right? And there was another one, Wait a Minute, Mr. Postman.
The Marvelettes.
The Marvelettes.
Because your mom used to play music in the house.
Because my mom used to play the radio, and those songs would come on. And the ones I loved, I guess, were the ones that stuck. And there were some songs that would come on, and I would just, like, hate it. Like, you know, it's sacrilegious to ever say you don't like a Beatles song, but...
Yes, it is.
Man, when Yellow Submarine came, I was like, now that one I don't like.
We all live.
I didn't like
you didn't
it.
Like
We
that
all.
song?
I was like, I don't like that. You know, I liked all the Beatles.
Yes.
But I didn't like that.
Well,
you know?
you're entitled, but you know, you said that finding talent, you said, is your specialty.
Yeah, I think it is. You know, it's something I think I've done all of my life without realizing it. I always gravitated to the people that had talent. You know, I mean, before I was in a band, before I was accomplished enough to be in a band, I would hang out with bands and carry their equipment and do anything I could to be around them.
Because there's something cool about bands. Band people often get the girls, but at 14 you said you were afraid of girls. How long did that last?
Not long.
Because here's LA. Hey, listen.
By that time, I was not afraid anymore.
That doesn't look like somebody who's afraid of girls. But I did not know that you played the drums.
Yes.
Cute Jerry curl, right, guys?
Now, see, people always laugh about my Jerry curl, but if you didn't have a Jerry curl around that time in 1983.
Yes, but I'm looking at the eyeliner, and I'm looking at the mustache, and I'm looking at the makeup.
Yeah.
You said that was called being, is it breed?
Oh,
Breed.
you got it. That's called
I
being
read the
breed.
book.
That's
Okay.
breed.
What
was
does
a
that
style.
mean, being breed?
It meant being a little bit androgynous, a little bit edgy. And you know what edge really means?
What?
Living on the edge of disaster, right? People never really say what edge of what, right? You could fall off the other side. So you take it right up to the edge, and that's what entertainment really is.
Yeah, because I was thinking, what is the look he's going for there? What is the look? And let's start with the outfit, too. It's not just the hair. It's the outfit, too. But you were very cool back then.
Yeah.
LA, you were very cool.
Well, I
You were in a
certainly
band.
thought so.
Yeah.
Well, here's the interesting thing. Before that, the picture that you showed before that was, that's which I like much better. Right? That's how my band
You
looked.
do? You like that picture
Yeah, I
better?
like that one better, yeah.
Okay.
That one I insisted on
Okay,
being in my
all
book.
right.
But when my band looked like that, we didn't get any attention. We couldn't get a recording contract. We were not interesting to people.
Okay.
And the next one, when we look like that, laugh if you like, we got a recording contract without ever meeting the record company.
Wow. All right.
Because that was how you needed to look at that point in 1983.
And then you tell a great story in the book that you had your first plane ride. You were going on a job. You had your first plane ride at the age of 20. Can you imagine? Most of us have been on a plane before we're 20.
Maybe more like 23, 24.
Wow, you had never been on a plane.
I've never been on a plane.
So your friends played a great joke on you.
I thought an
about the plane.
ocean was something out of the history book. I didn't know that there were really still oceans.
Yeah, because you grew up in Cincinnati.
As I grew up in Cincinnati, there was a river. We thought that was the ocean.
So you're on a plane ride, and your friend tells you what?
My friend says to me, you want something to drink? I said, yeah. He said, well, pull that. And I pulled the thing, and the mask comes down.
Can you imagine that guy's at 25? Yeah.
I didn't know. I'm from Cincinnati. You know?
But you meet Kenny Babyface Edmonds, who really to this day remains a pivotal person in your life.
Yeah, I would
But
say
let's
that
talk
he's a
about
great
meeting him,
friend.
because you guys have really been through a journey together.
Yes. I met Kenny Edmonds, Babyface as people know him. I met him in Indianapolis, which is his hometown. And I was there, I lived there as a musician because that's where we worked. And I heard some demo tapes that Kenny's then manager played for me. And he was incredible. I was like, that guy's something special.
Yeah.
And a cut above the rest. A few weeks later, Kenny came to watch my band, The Deal, and he sat in the front row, and he watched the show, and when the show was over, I went up and introduced myself, and he was very dry. You know Kenny, right?
Yes,
he was
yes,
kind of like, eh. Right? I was like, okay, that wasn't very exciting. I guess this guy doesn't like me. Several months later, I met him for the second time in the recording studio. He was writing a song for Midnight Star called Play Another Slow Jam, This Time Make It Sweet. And I went into the studio while he was recording it. I didn't know it was him. He was behind the curtain and he was singing. And he was singing. It was so soulful. I was like, who is that? And when he came out of the room, it was Kenny from Indianapolis. I was like, no, right? And so I talked to him again, and he and I clicked.
And you started working
We started
together.
working together. We
Yeah.
started writing songs together and producing, and we used to
developing
dream.
talent.
We used to dream together. We used
What
to
was
talk
your dream then?
Kenny's dream was he wanted a Grammy.
That
right?
was a dream,
That was
yeah.
his dream. He said, you know, because he said he would never like get high unless he won a Grammy, and I used to try to get him to like smoke, right? And he's like, I'll smoke if I win a Grammy, you know. So that was the holy grail to him.
That's
was
a
winning
lofty
Grammy.
goal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, and
So that was his dream. What was your dream?
my dream was Motown. I wanted a Motown. I wanted a company like Motown.
To
right?
be your company, or you
Yes,
just wanted
be-
to work at it?
I didn't know. I wanted that in my life.
You just knew that you wanted
Yeah.
Motown.
I knew I wanted to be the boss.
Well, mission accomplished.
Right.
So you and Kenny get together, and you're at LaFace Records, and you develop a lot of talent there.
Yeah. First, we started writing and producing artists. We lived in Los Angeles at the time, and we started making records. Our first one was The Whispers, and it was called Rocksteady.
Rock,
Right.
okay.
Yeah, and it became a big hit.
We remember that.
And
yes.
it was our very first hit, and all of us, and we started making a lot of records around town, but none of them were coming out. All of a sudden, all the record labels started to release the music that we made at the same time, and it was really interesting. So all of a sudden, Bobby Brown comes out with "Don't Be Cruel," and Karen White comes out with her first single was called "The Way You Love Me,"
yes.
and there was a little group on Motown called The Boys. They had a song called "Die on My Heart," and then Johnny Gill has a song called "My My My,"
yes.
and then The Deal, our own band, have a song called "Two Occasions."
Yeah.
All these songs hit the charts at the same time. So all of a sudden, Kenny and I are on a plane ride, and I said, Kenny, look at this. We have like 5 or 6 songs on the chart. And I'd never really paid that much attention to the chart. From that day forward, I've never missed reading
yes.
the chart, you know.
You still look at the charts even today?
Well, yeah, of course, every day.
Every day?
Yeah, every morning.
Every morning you're looking at the chart?
Every morning, yeah.
But it's interesting, you and Kenny are together at LaFace Records, and then you realize, you know, we're going to speed through the timeline.
Yes.
But you get to the point where you see that you all are drifting apart. You said it wasn't a big blow up, it wasn't an argument,
No.
that you just started drifting apart.
I don't think Kenny and I have ever had an argument. I think we have debates often, even today. If he were here right now, it would take about 5 minutes and we start debating something. You know, like I love your dress, right? And we would debate the color, he and I. I mean, we just did anything. Because, you know, Kenny's like, he would be a trial lawyer if he were not a genius. Right. I love this man, though. He's really an important man in my life. And he and I started to drift a little bit. And one of the reasons was I wanted to build LaFace Records and sign talent, which meant producing artists that were completely unknown.
Yes.
Kenny, who was on fire as a songwriter, as a producer, and a performer, wanted to produce big stars. And so it was a tug of war.
It seems reasonable, though.
It was very reasonable. He said, well, do I do Madonna or I do this girl that you signed that no one knows, right? It wasn't that difficult a choice for him, you know? And so that's what he did. He started producing Madonna and Eric Clapton and having really big hits. And I kept at LaFace and finding artists that at the time seemed like we didn't know what it would be, artists like Usher and artists like Outkast.
No, let's talk about Usher for a second, because I love what you say about Usher. That when you first auditioned Usher, he was a teenager, 14?
Usher was 14 the day I met him.
But you said he had swagger even then.
Yes.
That he was wise beyond his years, is how you phrased it.
He was.
He was wise beyond his years.
He was wise. He walked into the room. I actually love telling this story because it became the bar for me and judging talent.
Okay.
So Usher comes in at 14. He's from Chattanooga. He's dressed like he's from Chattanooga. and he comes in and he gives me a cassette. And on the cassette, there's an instrumental version of a song that Kenny and I produced on Boys to Men. It's called End of the Road, right?
Yeah.
So he plays End of the Road.
Did he know that that was yours?
Oh, yeah, he was clever. That's when
okay,
I say, okay, he's smart.
Okay.
Right? He knows I'm going to like the song if I don't like anything.
Okay.
So he starts to sing, and I stop him in a few bars, and I say, wait a minute, Usher, wait a minute. I got to go and get some people to watch this audition. So I gathered all the people in my office.
The women, too?
Well, I only have women in my office.
Okay,
Sorry.
okay.
No, I'm kidding, right? But no, I gathered everyone in the office and brought them in, and he started over. Only this time he started to serenade one of the girls that was in the room.
You said he picked the prettiest girl.
He did. I was
and
like,
got down on his knees.
He got down on one knee and started to serenade her with the confidence and the charisma of a superstar, someone who had done it before. And I couldn't believe it. And when he was done, everybody applauded, and I stood up and I said, welcome to LaFace, right?
You booked him right then.
Right at that moment,
Right then.
and his mother, Janetta, was with him, and we signed him. But what struck me was, at 14, how do you have that confidence? How do you know how to channel?
Where does that come from? Yeah.
How do you direct your talent that way and know exactly how to win in an audition setting like this, which most people find intimidating?
Yeah.
And I've had people come in that were 20, 19, and say, and fail an audition, and they say, well, I was nervous, I was intimidated. I'd never been in a record company. And all I ever think about was, yeah, well, I know a 14-year-old kid who came in who wasn't nervous, who wasn't intimidated, who became a massive star.
But Antonio, do people lose points for being nervous?
Yes.
They do?
Yeah. If you're nervous...
They could be talented, but they're just nervous. They're sitting and performing for you.
Yeah, get over it.
Get over it. So you lose
Just
points.
think of me as Madison Square Garden.
Oh, okay.
And give me a show, right? Give me a great show. Because, listen, Al Pacino had to audition for The Godfather. So who's above auditioning? Who's above winning an audition, right? And that's how I look at it, is if you're a pro...
And you're nervous, you lose points.
Well, put in the work, and you can control controlling your nerves is a part of being an entertainer.
But you said that you judge people even before they open their mouth. You judge people when they walk in the door, before they even sing a note. You've already done a judgment.
I can tell, but it's also in the talking voice. I can tell when someone speaks, I can tell if it's musical.
You can?
Yeah. Some voices are musical and some, like mine, isn't. Right? But some people, when they talk, it's soothing.
Is my voice musical?
You,
Don't answer. Don't answer. Don't answer.
You and I have a lot in common.
Don't answer. You're not supposed to applaud that. No, because I really do. I tell people this all the time who can sing. I so wish I could sing. There's nothing like standing on a stage and there's a crowd of people and they know your lyrics and they're singing to you. I can't imagine what that's like. So I have great appreciation for music. But the thing about Usher, you brought Puffy in because you said he needed flavor. What did you call it?
I brought in Puffy because Puffy at the time, he hadn't become Diddy yet. He hadn't even become Puff Daddy yet. He was just Puffy, right?
He was just Puffy.
He was Puffy, right? But he was the king of swag. I mean, he had so much style and so much swagger, so much charisma, and I wanted Usher to get a little bit of that. So I asked Puffy to put him under his wing and take him to Flavor Camp. I called it Flavor Camp.
That's what it
right?
was. That's what it was.
Like, take him to Flavor Camp and just give him a little flavor. and he overdid it.
Because now he has a lot of flavor.
Yes.
One of the other stories that's very telling in the book is Whitney and Clive Davis. Because Clive came to you with Whitney because he wanted to, Whitney was a big pop star.
Massive.
But Clive wanted what for her?
Well, she had her first 2 albums. They were massive runaway successes, world-class success. But
like, what were the songs? Name me 2 songs that was, to put it in perspective
she had
for us.
How Will I Know?
Yeah, How Will I Know?
Which was a big song, right?
Yep.
But the first one was like Saving All My Love for You,
got
You
it.
Give Good Love, and
so she was huge in the pop world.
She was a big pop star.
Why isn't that good enough?
Well, it is good enough, but all of us, we all want a little more, and I think that being a black girl from church and not having a big black following was a concern. And you have to understand that that isn't a racial thing. She has to have a base, right? When all things fail, there needs to be a group of people that will still say, I love Whitney, right? So Clive was concerned that she didn't have a base. So he came to me.
Was he thinking your audience has to look like you?
Yeah, that's kind of my crazy philosophy, is like, if you're a country singer, your audience should kind of look like you. I mean,
I like country music, so if I'm sitting there.
But no, that's different. You like me, we're Outkast.
Okay.
We're in any room, we're in every room.
But so he came to you with Whitney and said, I want you to what?
He didn't really say it, he just said he wanted us to produce Whitney. I later found out that he thought that we had a more urban sound. And that urban sound would sort of balance her career and balance her audience. But he didn't actually say that. I might have been offended if he had said that. We want you to make her blacker. What? I wouldn't have liked that. Yeah. And plus, I thought I was making pop. I thought I was making pop songs. I didn't know I was urban.
So what did you do with her in terms of music?
So Kenny and I went in and we wrote a song called "I'm Your Baby Tonight."
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And we produced it on Whitney.
Yes.
And it became Kenny and my first #1 record, first #1 pop record in our life.
I'm Your Baby Tonight.
Was I'm Your Baby Tonight, yeah. And then we did a few other songs on that album. My Name Is Not Susan was a good one.
Yes.
And a couple more. One called Miracle that Kenny wrote that was really a very pretty song. And that began our relationship with Whitney.
And then you became very close to Whitney, and she was staying at your house at the time. You were married to Pebbles, and Whitney was at your house. You said she was sort of subdued until Bobby Brown called, and her whole attitude changed.
Yeah, she was there. We'd finished the recordings. And usually people come and we finish the recordings and they say, okay, we're out, goodbye. But she kept hanging. And it was cool, but I was kind of like, wonder what's happening? Has nowhere
When
to go?
is she going
nothing
home?
to do?
Yeah.
After like a day and a half, I was like, yo, she's still here. It's cool, but I love you, but she's still here.
Yeah.
And then my phone rings. It was so funny. My phone rings, I answer it. Hello? LA, it's Bobby. I'm like, Bobby? Because I was producing Bobby also, so it wasn't unusual that he would
for him to call, okay.
Right? Is Whitney there? I was like, oh, shit. Right?
Like they're seeing each other? Did you
And
think
then
that was a good match
It
for
just
her?
clicked, and then Bobby came to the house and he picked her up, and she was so smiling and giddy and got in the car and drove off in a blue Mercedes station wagon, and I never seen anyone so happy. And I never seen two people more in love.
Really?
I
Than
never
Bobby
seen
and
two
Whitney?
people more in
Really?
love, you know.
Did you think they were good together?
Yeah, I did.
Back in the
Yeah,
days?
when they were around me, what I saw, whenever you see two people have pure love for each other, what is not beautiful about that, right? And they were that. The world didn't see it that way because the world had an opinion of Whitney and they had an opinion of Bobby. Bobby was the bad boy and Whitney was angelic, right? But opposites attract. But they were in love.
But
and
he
they
did
loved
seem to
being
be the
together.
bad boy.
Bobby Brown was the first. He was the first R&B singer that had hip hop swag.
Okay.
First one
Okay.
in the world, right?
Okay.
And we produced him, and I'm proud of that. That's why I had to put that little thing.
So you got to see them in a way that other people didn't. But we'll go back to Clive for a second, because I think this is a real pivotal story. Because here's Clive, who is Clive Davis, all of that.
Right. Clive, whenever you have to say it with an echo behind it.
Okay, go ahead.
Clive. You get it? Right? That's Clive Davis. The rest of us is like silent, right? But when you say Clive, it's like echo.
Clive.
Yeah.
So you're working with Clive. You go to him and say, I want to talk to you about buying the company,
Yes.
LA Face, and LA Records, and that he basically sort of ignored that.
Yes, after we built the label and we had success with TLC, with Toni Braxton, Usher, and Outkast. We had signed Pink,
Yeah.
and we had a lot of hits with artists that didn't necessarily become stars, but we had a pretty significant run.
Stable, yeah.
And I felt I'd been in Atlanta for quite some time, and I was really ready to help him. I wanted to be with Clive. That was really like the goal. Because I had sort of satisfied what I call my Motown desires.
Yes.
You know, we built a little mini Motown of the South.
Yeah.
So I went to Clive and said, you know, if you buy the company, I'll come in and I'll work for you. And I'll be your music guy. I'll be one of your music guys. And he didn't answer me. And
Which bothered you?
it bothered me
Because
because
he
I
just
was
totally
very
ignored the
serious.
question,
Because
yeah.
it wasn't an in passing. It was, I called, I set up a meeting, I took a flight to New York, sat down in the office and had a real conversation. And I respected that maybe he wanted to think about it.
But he could have said that.
But after 2 or 3 of those meetings, and I never got an answer, I realized that he wasn't as interested in it as I was.
you were, okay.
And I respect that. That's fine.
But then, this is what's so interesting. Then you get called by...
I get called by the heads of Bertelsmann, who owned Arista Records.
Yep. And they want to offer you what?
And they said, we understand that you've had conversations with Clive about buying your company, and he's not interested. Well, we are interested on one condition. And I said, what's the condition? If you'll replace Clive.
That
at
you
Arista.
replace Clive.
And I'm like,
That's what I said.
Seriously?
Whoa.
I'm like, seriously?
Yeah. Because you and Clive had a
yeah.
relationship, a friendship.
Clive is my mentor.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, seriously, I learned so much from him. He is one of the greatest record men that's ever walked this planet. I mean, seriously talented man, right?
Yet
and
you
I
took
love
the
and
job.
respect him. Well, it was either, I wanted the money, because I built a company that was worth a lot of money, and I wanted it. And I couldn't sell it to anybody else. I had to sell it to Clive, and he wouldn't buy it. So my choices were not sell my company and not take a job, right? And just sit there and be quiet. Well, have you met me?
Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so they bought my company, and I took the role as the president of Arista, and it
Clive
wasn't.
was out.
And I did him the greatest favor in the world,
How so?
because he started J Records.
Yes.
And then he got super rich.
Yeah. But at the time, he didn't feel it was a favor. At the time, it really did create tension. He felt betrayed. He felt that you had, disrespect isn't the word, but he did feel betrayed.
Yeah.
And you two had to have a meeting about that. You
Yeah,
had
we
to-
talked about it, and we worked through it, and we patched things up, and we were fine, you know.
Do you think you're fine today? with
Yes,
him? You do?
absolutely, yeah. Well, I hope maybe after this interview, I'm not sure, but we were up until this moment.
No, but you had a moment in his kitchen where you two could really sort of express yourselves about what had happened. Because he said, you know, how could you do this to me, that it was hurt, and that he felt humiliated, he said.
Yes, and I understand that.
Yeah.
I really do. I felt humiliated also, though, because it wasn't as, I thought that taking a job at Arista was this great ascension and a great promotion in my life, and I thought it would be, you know, pleasantly received. And when I saw headlines that say, hip-hop executive takes over for Clive Davis, I was like, wow, I thought you guys said I didn't know anything about hip-hop. Now I'm the hip-hop guy, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't like that.
You took a beating in the press.
I took a beating, yeah. I took a beating in the press and in the industry. And, you know, that's how life goes.
But at the time going through that, though, you felt sort of you were on your own.
Yeah,
Because nobody was supporting you at that time.
Erica was.
Yeah, Erica. Let's talk about
Where's my
Erica
wife?
Reid. Erica Reid is your lovely wife.
Yeah.
And your
Where
children
you?
are here too.
Can't see.
But we just know that she's here with your children.
Right there, there she is.
Here, I got a picture of Erica.
That's my wife.
There they are.
The light is in my eye. I really can't see you, but I kind of
No.
think that's you.
That's her.
Anyway.
And
but we were
Addison's
together.
here?
We moved here together in 2000.
And Ariana's
And
here.
I remember the day I went into the building, there was a sign up that says, "Welcome L.A. Reid to Arista." And I got so excited. I called Erica. I said, "You have to come and see the sign. You have to come and see it. Like, it's great." And she was probably there within like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
When she got there, that sign was already gone.
It was already gone.
I was like, "Oh, wow, okay." And
But Ella, you have certainly been through it, because you go at Arista Records and you end up losing the job at Arista Records too.
Yes.
Then you get called into the office, you know, as time goes, and you were let go at a time when you had some of the biggest hits in the country.
Yeah.
Like, who was on the radio that we were listening to at the time
Oh,
that
at the
you were
time,
fired?
yeah, it was pretty interesting because one of the songs was a song called "Yeah" by Usher.
Usher, yeah.
There was another song called "Hey Ya" by Outkast.
Yes.
That was on the radio. It was on
Yes.
fire,
Yeah.
right? And there was this song called "Complicated" by Avril Lavigne that was on the radio.
Yes.
And Pink had just put out "Don't Let Me Get Me." One of those. Pink had something on the radio, but she might have been on like the fourth single. But I mean, we could not have been hotter.
But what was that like? You were L.A. Reid, and you're called into the office and basically told your services are no longer needed.
Yes. They said, you know, we want to make a change. We lost confidence and we want to make a change. And I was like, okay. It wasn't, I saw it coming. You know, I really did see it coming. So I wasn't surprised, but I was still.
It still hurt.
I was still hurt, of course, because, you know, when I wake up to do a job, I try to do my absolute best every single day, right? There isn't a day that I go to work and I don't give it my absolute best, right?
But the beauty of you being let go is within less than half an hour, Erica was saying, you had two really good job offers.
Yeah.
In less than 25 minutes, the word had gotten out.
Yeah, it was pretty rapid. It really was. And I really feel blessed and honored, and I don't take that for granted, you know. But I left Bertelsmann, and I called my lawyer, and he says, go and see Doug Morris right now. You got to go over there right now and see Doug. So Doug Morris is at the time he was the chairman of the Universal Music Group.
Yeah.
He was actually the guy that pulled the music group together, and one of the most amazing executives ever. And I went to see Doug, and he says, you know what, I'm the luckiest guy in the world.
Yeah.
And he offered me a position as the vice chairman of the Universal Music Group within 30 minutes after I've been fired.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And that was what do you call it? Is that what was the word again? Vindication? Or,
Yes. You felt vindicated.
I felt that because I thought I did a good job.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand, and I knew nothing about corporate politics, but I learned.
Corporate politics
I
are
know
very
now.
difficult, aren't they? No matter what corporation you're in,
Yeah.
there are corporate politics.
Yeah.
During the course of your very storied career, you've worked with TLC.
Yes.
It's hard to believe that the song Waterfall almost didn't get made.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that to me is one of their prettiest songs, biggest hits, but that almost didn't get made.
Wait a minute. No. Is that accurate? Let me see. I didn't read my book.
It wasn't. It almost
Forgive
wasn't
me.
released. It
It
almost
almost
wasn't
didn't get
released.
released.
That's
right.
what I mean. It
They
almost
recorded
didn't get released.
it, right.
Yes.
But
That's what I mean.
Yeah, we put out.
You read your book.
Yeah, I'm going to read it. I hear it's okay.
I'm telling you, it's a very good book.
I hear it's okay.
But this is the thing. So Waterfall, you know, they have a ton of hits, TLC.
Yes.
In fact, that was the first concert I ever took my kids to, was TLC. I remember that. You always remember your first concert. Mine was Chicago. Does anybody know the group Chicago? Saturday in the Park. What was your first concert that you ever went to?
The first one was James Brown in the Convention Center in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah, everybody always remembers
James
their first
Brown.
concert.
Oh, my
But
God.
I love the TLC chapter, working with them, Lisa, Chili,
And
T-Boz. And you get a call that says, Mr. Reid, Lisa's house is on fire.
Yes.
And you think what?
It's early in the morning. And
Lisa's house is on fire.
I'm on my way to, I'm on my way to Austria, I believe.
Yep.
For a conference. And at the moment I got the phone call, from my son Aaron's babysitter, and I turned on the television, and the house is on fire on television as I'm on the phone. I'm like, oh my God.
Because that was a big news story.
So all I thought about was, is Lisa okay? Right?
Oh,
And
she was okay.
I didn't know, but I didn't know. I was
She
like,
was mad, but she was okay.
I didn't know what had happened, and then a few minutes later she called, and again I only cared about whether she was okay. I didn't even ask what happened. I just said, "Are you okay?" And she was, and then I said, "So
What do you mean
happened?"
you didn't? Yeah, okay.
Right?
All right.
I had to find out
Okay,
first
if she was
know.
okay. Got it.
Yeah, you know, because a house burning down, there's a lot of ways
And
that
it wasn't
can go.
a little house, too. It was
No,
a mansion.
It was a mansion.
Yeah, it was over 4. You know, in the United States of America, a mansion is determined anything that's over 4,000 square feet, and this thing was even bigger than over 4,000.
Yeah, it was probably like 9,000.
Yeah,
what,
square
what does that make it? 9,000 square
No,
feet was that?
that's a mega mansion.
Mega mansion, that's
Yeah.
what she did.
So I remember the pictures too very vividly. It's on fire, there's flames, there's smokes, and you say, what happened? And she said,
She explained to me that it was an accident and that she was upset. And I believe the story was Andre Rison, who was her boyfriend
at the time, yeah.
had gotten a shipment of tennis shoes from Nike and didn't get her any. And that's what I think. And she took a stuffed animal that he'd given her as a gift, and she put it in the bathtub, and she lit it. And the entire house went up instantly.
Now, when you hear that story, any sympathy you might have had at that moment, did you just become very angry? Did you say, what the hell? What did you do when you get that call? When she tells you that that's the reason why the house is on fire?
I didn't really process why. I really didn't. I started to think about, okay, wait a minute. There's a house on fire. Okay, there's a house on fire. Is she okay? Is this arson? Is she in trouble? And I started to think about things like that. And I called, after I spoke to her, I called the chief of police in Atlanta who's a friend, and ask him, could he help me? Right? Could he
He'll
just
help you do what?
just help me hide Lisa? Can we hide her until we figure out what happened here,
Yes,
right?
'cause we got ourselves a situation here.
Yeah, we did, and okay, see, I'm going too far. See, my next book is going to be called Talk Too Much.
No, but I do like the candor of the book. I do like that you talk about the people that you've worked with. I love the Babyface story, certainly. You know, there's too much to get into, but you two had a come to Jesus meeting because you drifted apart and he sort of laid down the law for you. I love that you give credit to your ex-wife Pebbles for building,
Yes.
for helping you with the success.
Yes.
Because most men don't really talk kindly about their ex-wives.
Yeah, well, that's actually mean. That's very mean-spirited because in our case in particular, we built something that we were very proud of, and all of us played a significant role in it. So I would never try to take someone's credit away for helping me do something that I think is incredible. We did it together, and she deserves credit for that.
Yeah, I think that deserves a round of applause.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
But I am Team Erica, so we're glad that.
Oh, I'm
this is
Team Erica too.
Yes,
Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, no, we don't have it twisted.
I'm 100% Team
So
Erica.
I'm going to close with this because this is towards the end of the book, where you read about this girl. You hear somebody playing a song, and you say, "What is that?" I'm like, "Holy shit! Play that again." Paul, who is this? I ask. I don't know. It's a songwriter out of Nashville. What's she singing? Who is that singing? The girl that wrote it, her name is Meghan Trainor. Come on out, Meghan Trainor.
How you doing?
Hi.
M-Train,
I'm trying. What to do, man? Hi. Hello.
join us.
Or as LA calls her, M-Train.
M-Train.
Train. Hello. Hi.
So you heard M-Train singing, and you thought what?
Exactly what I said. Holy
Oh.
shit, this girl. What? It was at first. It was just the music. I didn't meet her. I heard the song, but the song was all about that bass. Now tell me something.
Yes. Right? No, this is what I like, Meghan. He says, I couldn't stop playing it. I knew that this was a fucking home run. I couldn't believe my ears. I need to meet this girl. And she walked in the office. I couldn't stop smiling. I love this girl. She talked a little. She made everybody laugh. And then she started strumming her ukulele. You play the ukulele?
Yeah. See, what happened was I was on a songwriting trip, and all I had was my ukulele. And I texted Paul the night before, like 9 p.m.
Who's Paul?
Paul Pontius, the A&R he just hired. It was like his first week.
Okay.
And I
It was
said,
his first
week. I was like, yo, you want to get coffee? And he's like, do you want to sing for L.A. Reid tomorrow? And I was like, what does he want to hear? And he said, all about the bass. And I never sang to tracks. I never danced. So I played it. I learned it on my ukulele in my hotel room. And I sent a voice note to my mom and dad. And it was like midnight for them. I was like, is it good? And they're like, yeah, just smile. And everything you said before about don't be shy,
Yes.
that's bullcrap. I was shaking like I am now.
Were you shaking?
I was wearing a backwards hat, and I was wearing cheetah leggings and a hoodie from Forever 21. I looked like a fool, and I walked in there so
Not to me.
scared. Yeah, I walked out, I was like, hi, I'm Meghan, nice to meet you. I was so bad, I
Were
messed up a
you
chord.
nervous singing in front of him?
Dude, come on, it was my first record audition ever. Ever, and it was L.A. Reid, and I was the only one like I knew.
So you couldn't tell that she, that's funny. So you couldn't tell she was nervous.
All I knew was
Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it, is that what you're
that's what
thinking?
she did well. She covered it up because you didn't.
Every day.
But listen- I do love this lady. Let me tell you, she is something special.
What do you love about her?
Well, it's everything about her personality, that smile, that she's just incredible.
But
she's one of in my career. I would have to say that like Babyface holds a very special place in my heart as a songwriter.
Yeah.
And then there's Meghan Trainor.
Oh, very nice. But Meghan, you were a songwriter. Did you want to be a performer?
Of course. I think at one point in every songwriter's career, they want to be a superstar and they want
That's
to
what
sing
he
their own
says.
song.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Do you believe that? Every
Absolutely.
songwriter wants to be a superstar.
yeah, even if they don't admit it, it's somewhere deep in there. But I always wanted to, and I was too insecure, too scared. My dad actually read an article that L.A. Reid said said, you have to have this look. And he came to me and he's like, baby girl, I don't know if you have the look yet. And I was like, don't worry about it. When I'm 26, I'm gonna stop eating, I'm gonna look good, I'm gonna learn how to dance. And so it was so ironic and such a flip that he signed me for All About the Bass, Loving My Curves. And I was like,
Loving My
That's
Curves.
right.
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, when Meghan walked in the room and started to strum the ukulele and sing the song, it was instantaneous, and it wasn't just me. I promise you, if she'd been auditioning for you guys, every one of you would have also signed her. I promise. She was that good.
Everyone in that room was like this.
No.
Except him.
I'm in that room
He
with
was
those people a lot, boy.
He was the only one that loved it, and then they
I
trapped me
would
in a
think
room
that's
for an
even
hour.
harder, Megan, if people are sitting here
Yeah.
like, yeah, show me what you got.
And I went.
Did you feel
and
that?
They put me after that. They're like, okay, can you wait in this room? An all-white room with white chairs and white table, white walls, no cell phone. And the girl finally came back 15 minutes later after they played All About the Bass 5 times. And she was like, do you need water? I was like, cell phone. If I could just have my cell phone, I would be so good. And I texted my entire family. I bombed. I was so terrible. I didn't get it.
Did you
Totally
think you were
fine.
terrible?
Oh, I was like, I didn't get it. Don't be excited. Please don't tell the whole fam. Like, and then Paul Pontius walked back. We got you a record deal. And I was like, no way.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting because you have two totally different opinions about what happened. You thought you
Yeah.
bombed, and you thought she knocked it out of the park.
Out of the park.
How do two people get it
Incredible.
so differently?
Because-
But the same thing.
We're on the other sides.
Yeah.
He'd be fine without me. I wanted this. This was
Yes.
my dreams.
Yes.
No, I wouldn't be fine without you. See, this is what you have to
That's so
understand. It really is what I call, it's a two-way street. It's one hand watching the other, right? I'm nothing without you and people like you, right? And you know, you would actually be fine because you're talented,
Thanks, babe.
right? Right? Yeah.
But Megan, when did you know that you were this talented? Because I do think your voice is amazing. I first learned about the song from my assistant Joseph, who you met. Said, you got to hear this song. You got to hear this song. And then I said, oh, okay, it's nice. And then I came back a week later and said, you know, there's this great song called All About the Bass. He goes, that's the one I played for you last week. That's the same one I played for you. I said, I want to get everything that she's done. So when did you know that you could do this, that you had this sound that made people smile?
At a very young age, I thought Britney Spears was writing all her lyrics and songs, and I just wanted to be Britney Spears. So I was a big producer fan when I was younger. I soon figured out it was Max Martin doing everything. And so I was a big fan of Max Martin, Rodney Jerkins, a lot of producers, and I loved that.
Yeah.
And I told my dad, I got home one day, I was like, I should be recording my vocals. Like, I sound just as good as them. And I was not good. But my father, I love you, Dad. What's up? I see that white hair. What's up? Hey.
Hi, Mr. Trainor.
He bought me, he didn't know anything about producing. He just is a very good performer and piano player. And he Googled everything, and he read a lot of magazines, and he bought me equipment. And he said, I don't know what this is, but that's how you produce, and this is what you need. And I was like,
so cute.
sweet, thanks. I was like 12, 13. And so I've been writing and producing my own songs ever since. And not a lot of girls do that. So nowadays, when I walk in the studio and I say, can I sit down? Can you scooch over? I'm gonna count my own vocals. They start taking pictures of me like I'm a freak.
No, but you write about her that her song knocked Taylor Swift off the charts.
Yeah,
That
that's
it sold.
yes.
Talk about
Bad timing.
But no, here's the great
about
stat
that,
to
because
me
that
was
was
this.
great.
The great stat was, you know, I run Epic Records. Epic Records is the home of Michael Jackson,
Yes.
right? And Michael Jackson held the record for having the longest running #1 record in the history of Epic Records. Meghan Trainor's All About That Bass beat Billie Jean.
Whoa.
Beat Billie Jean.
Bravo.
And now that's a stat, like, right?
Yeah. That was what my dad said. I didn't think this would happen. That was,
Your dad
Incredible.
said?
It's
Yeah.
incredible.
What was it like the first time you heard yourself on the radio? Did you have that moment that you were in your car or wherever you are, and they say, Meghan Trainor, and you hear that?
I was still living in Nashville, and I was at my producer's house, Kevin Kadish, who did the bass with me. And he said, The River's gonna play it soon. I was like, really? So he sat in his car, and it was raining, and I started bawling because I said, it sounds good. I didn't know if it would sound good or not because it was a demo. It was very raw. There's no auto-tune, there's no nothing. It's not like a normal pop song that you hear nowadays. And I just cried so hard because I was like, it sounds good.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
No, it sounds really good. So where do you see her going, L.A. Reid? Where do you see
God.
Meghan Trainor going? Because Meghan, we're waiting for new music.
Man, let me
I got
tell you,
it. It's bomb.
She's got it.
First single's
She
coming.
has it. And it's really
I didn't have it, and then he told me I didn't have it, and then I went and wrote it.
Did he? Is that what happened? You played it for him, and he said. It's
Then he told me all his stories about how he got Mariah's singles
Yes.
and how she thought she had it too, and she didn't. And I was like, all right, you want a story? I'll give you a story. So I went to the studio. I wrote a big F.U. song.
That's what it was.
No. It's called No.
It's called
What's
No.
the name of it?
No.
No.
No. Oh, it's called No.
No.
Smash.
Smash, yeah. And we're so excited.
Is that going to be the first one you're going to release? And when is that coming out?
March
In Train? March what?
March 4th,
March 4th.
How
I
about
believe. I
that?
don't know if we're supposed to say it, but there it is. Hey.
There it is. It's fine.
Sorry, Derek.
March 4th it is.
And it's called No.
My publicist's like, it's okay. It's,
Do you have a certain process in terms of how you write your songs? Do you start with a topic and say, I'm going to write about this, or will you see something and that'll jar something?
It's
What
different
is it?
every time, yeah. This album was easier to write for me than the first album because now I know the world is listening, and now there is a fan base, and it's really, what do I want them to hear me say? The first one was like, I'm gonna say whatever I want. Now it's like, what do I want them to hear, and what do I wanna, I don't know, I think they're gonna like it.
Yeah. No, you write about her that she sounds like that you think she's a black girl.
Oh, come on.
She has attitude.
And I see now why
she
you
has a
say
hat.
that.
I met her and she had her hat turned around backwards.
Yeah, you said she walked in, and I thought she was a black girl.
Yeah.
There was something that
She's soulful.
You
She's got a lot
said
of
she's
soul.
soulful. You said she's like comfort food.
That's right.
Meghan Trainor is
I'm like comfort food? That's what you said? What's that supposed to mean?
Didn't you say
It
that
makes
she's-
you feel good.
Okay.
Yeah, that she's like comfort
Right?
food. I wrote that and I said, oh, that's so nice, Meghan. We love macaroni and cheese.
Me too, I had that yesterday.
That's good. Okay, Ellie, it says.
That's Ariana's favorite dish, right, Ariana? That's my,
Ariana's
that's
his
my daughter. My daughter and my son are here also.
daughter.
Ariana and Addison.
Shout out.
Are here. Okay, this is for you, M. Train.
Oh, what's for me?
From Macy M. She says, Ms. Trainor, what musician songs inspired you at a young age? Why? And do you think you are like those people in your music style?
I love songwriters, and when I found out some artists weren't the songwriters, I studied the songwriters. I went and found them. So I loved like John Mayer's, and I love Bruno Mars. Once I heard he was songwriter first, and then that was my dream. I was like, Dad, I'm gonna be a huge songwriter, and then I'm gonna flip it and sing it myself one day. But worked out.
Wow, but it started early for you.
Yeah.
Wow. I would love to have known what you were thinking when you walk in the room and you know L.A. Reid is going to be listening to you. I know you said you were nervous.
You know what I do?
What did you
Before I send him a song, I put on the headphones and I imagine I'm L.A. Reid. And I,
Oh my
I swear to God,
goodness.
like,
Do you?
and I tell my sister, I'm like, yo, JoJo, we're gonna pretend we're L.A. Reid, bump it in the car, and we'll sit there. I'll be like, we gotta change the verse. We gotta change. It needs to be sassier. And I just hit myself in his body. I try.
Do you?
And then I play for him, and it's all different.
Megan, you are fun. Okay, L.A.
Isn't
Yeah,
she
she
lovable?
is.
Do you get it? You
Yeah.
understand why I love her?
No,
you guys
I do.
get it?
I do get it. I do
What
get
a star.
It. May
What
that
a
never
star.
change.
That's what they're made of. This is what they look
May
like.
that never change. I mean, how are you handling the fame? Because now when you walk around, you're recognized. And you know, there was a time when you think, I would want somebody to recognize me. And now that it's happened, how do you handle all of that? What's your thought about it?
Recently, I really haven't got recognized in a long time. I think it's the haircut. I don't know what it is.
Really?
But yeah, it's all about what you wear. So I scrub very hard. As soon as this is done, I'm putting on Uggs and a sweatshirt and leggings. And I really don't get recognized that much, and I don't get bothered that much. And when I do, they're very sweet, and I take pics, and it's fine. But I do meet artists right around where I'm at in my career, and they say, I'm too scared to go outside. And I just look at that, and I say, I don't ever want to be that scared of the outside world. Because I grew up, until last year, I wasn't famous. I was very normal. I was
You're still
everywhere.
very normal, Megan. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. No,
That's
I mean
great.
that as a compliment. May that never change. Yeah.
Yeah, I go to the movies all the time with my bros. I never want to be scared of that. That's
If I
crazy.
do my job well, you won't be able to go outside.
I'm worried about the second album. My brother, when my brother heard the new
How
album.
old is your brother?
He's a year older than I am, and we all live
Which
together.
is what? How old is
Oh, I'm 22, and he's 23.
He's 23, okay.
And my younger brother's 20, so we all live
Are
in
you
the
the
same
only
house.
girl in the family?
I'm the middle child. What's up? But we all go out and we forget that I'm famous sometimes. When we get recognized, we're like, oh, well, that's a thing. I forgot.
I forgot.
That's incredible.
My sister's a famous person. LA, what do you think is the most exciting new artist act of 2016?
Wow. 2016 is
Or coming up this year?
yeah, I
Who
was
do
going
you-
to say it's barely February. It's February 2nd. My book came out today. That's what I remember.
Oh, did you hear, guys? He has a book. Okay.
I'm trying to think. I don't know who the breakthrough is. I'm not sure who the breakthrough for this year.
Okay, who was a breakthrough last year?
Meghan Trainor.
Touche.
Killed it.
Touche.
Yeah.
Did you feel overwhelmed at first by the popularity of that song right away?
The bass?
Yeah.
I never knew what it was like to put out a song. So I got used to getting phone calls like, it's #1 again. And I was like, cool. And then I didn't know how epic that was until I put out other songs and it wasn't that fast of a success. And I was like, so that was a freak show. And they're like, yeah. And they try to tell you this doesn't happen. And I'm like, sure.
But
It was
the
just-
song with John Legend, that's doing
That
well.
one,
I'm
yeah.
Gonna Love
I'm
You.
getting the same
Did you
calls
write
like
that?
the bass.
You wrote
yeah,
that?
I wrote and I produced that with my friend in Nashville on Logic.
Did you, when you wrote it, did you
Thanks.
have John Legend in mind for it? When you
No,
wrote it, did you have
I
John
didn't.
Legend in mind?
It was originally, I wrote it on my ukulele in Nashville, and I didn't even sing the
Is
demo.
your ukulele here?
Maybe. It's at the hotel. It's not here.
Oh, shucks.
Sorry, guys.
I would just like to see you play and sing with the
It's so
ukulele.
cute. I would have done it. Sorry.
Oh, I wish I would have
Something.
known.
But Like I'm a Loser was like a reggae song that I wrote. And then I wanted it for the album, and so I met with my friend, and he played it soulful and nice like it is, and we reproduced it in this tiny little room. And my management at the time managed John Legend, so they played it for him without me knowing, and they said, hey, John loves this. Do you want him to sing on it? And I was like, John who? And they're like, John Legend. And I was like, yeah, that's okay. He can do it.
Oh, they didn't tell you they were going to play it for him?
No, they just did it.
John loves it. I like
Give a
that.
warning.
I like that. How do you know, LA, when someone has it?
Hardest question ever.
Yeah.
How do you know when somebody
and-
has it?
It's like this. If someone special walks into a room, you can have your back to the door, and if someone special walks in, have you ever noticed that you turn and you look and you wonder, what made you turn around and look? And when you look, it's someone special. It may be there's someone famous or just someone that has that aura, but when special people enter the room, you feel it. And so my job is to really pay attention to my intuition, pay attention to my instincts, and really pay attention to my surroundings. Because you never know. But when they enter the room, you know it. It's just a feeling. And,
Is
I
it
try
really
to-
just a feeling you don't have a formula?
I came here to sing to you.
I'm sorry?
I came here to sing to you. Would you let me perform?
No,
Oh.
we really can't do that right now.
Oh, you wanna sing to me?
Yeah, no, we can't do that.
We'll get to that.
That's probably the worst thing to do right
She's
now.
coming. She's coming
said
up
that?
now. She's still
Oh,
coming.
no, you really can't.
Singer. I'm an entertainer.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Not right now,
We're
though.
not going to do that right now.
Okay.
That's. Oh, man. Wow.
My heart broke. Oh.
Well, listen.
You know she's been sitting there
She
for this whole
asked.
time. When is it a good
But she
time?
asked. She did ask, right?
Man, that takes guts. I would never.
You know, but there's a way to do that. She could have put a card. She should have said to somebody. That's just, no.
Well, I've
And she
seen-
may be very good. She may be
sweating
very
now.
good.
I've seen them do it many ways.
We just won't hear it tonight. So,
Anyway, when Special walks into the room, I know when Special's in the room, and I
Yeah.
try to pay attention to
Yeah.
it. Yeah. It's
Does
just
that happen to
intuition.
you a lot, that you're walking in somebody's
Just
Like
in
that?
restaurants.
Yeah.
LA
Oh my God,
Reid,
what?
let me sing to you.
What?
Does that happen?
Yeah, I've had people do the strangest things to sing. Yeah.
And do you find that endearing or do you find that annoying? Or do you think, for some people, they say, oh my God, this is my chance, I better take it. Do you admire that or do you just think, boy, that's not good?
I understand it.
Okay.
I understand that they think it's their moment, right?
Yeah.
You know how scary that was for her?
Yeah.
She was sitting this whole time, like, when can I do it?
Yeah.
That was terrifying. I give her mad props.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't. I don't. I don't.
It's cool.
I just think that there's a way to do it. But there's some.
But then you remember I
you say you
said
just
that-
have a feeling. Go ahead.
Well, I also said that there's a certain intellect attached with stardom. You remember I said that backstage, right?
What do you mean? What do you mean? A certain intellect attached with stuff.
She would never do that.
Right.
She knows not to do that.
Mm-hmm.
She knows that actually isn't endearing and that won't get her to where she wants to go.
Mm-hmm.
Certain artists just wouldn't do certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Like even like TV talent shows. I'm changing the subject a little bit.
Okay.
But like
'Cause
TV
you were
talent
on the
shows,
X Factor,
I was on
yeah.
X Factor and I had a great time. And the kind of I asked Meghan backstage. I said, "Would you have ever signed up for a TV talent show?"
What did
like
Meghan
X
say?
Factor?
Nope.
And she said, "No."
No.
Why, Meghan? Because listen,
Me,
we've
no,
met
because-
Carrie Underwood, we've met Jennifer Hudson,
we
we've met some really.
we know 5
Okay.
out of 15 years of TV
That's the first reason why.
and 5 shows.
Okay.
Honestly, like
Okay.
we know, right? We may know 5, but we're talking about hundreds and hundreds of people who have done it all over the world.
Okay.
Right? On X Factor, on American Idol, on The Voice, and we can maybe name 5.
Okay.
Right? So the truth is, that's really not where people like Meghan want to display their talents.
Mm-hmm.
Now, don't get me wrong. I love those shows. I love X Factor. I love The Voice. I love American Idol.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a certain kind of talent that will go there, and Meghan wouldn't. My guess is an artist like Prince wouldn't. My guess is Bruno Mars wouldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
My guess is Taylor Swift
I
wouldn't
think
do that.
those shows are for
Right.
when, if you have no connections at all to the music industry.
But
that's the
Meghan, most
first
people
place.
don't have connections. Most
That's
people.
why they go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but most people don't have connections because it sounds like you're putting down those shows.
I'm
and
not.
I think
I'm from
you're not-
Cincinnati, Ohio. What
How
connection
is
did I
that not-
have?
Yeah.
Like seriously,
Yeah.
right? I'm a black kid from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
I come from the ghetto. What connection did I have? Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't put anybody down, but I do believe that there's a certain strategic mind
Mm-hmm.
that gets you to her level of stardom.
Okay. Why wouldn't you go on those shows, Meghan?
I was signed at a very young age. I was 18 years old in high school. I left at lunchtime to go sign my professional publishing deal. So I knew I wasn't going to college. I was doing my job and I was happy. And even as a signed songwriter, my publisher, she goes, I signed you up for The Voice. You're going to audition next week. I said, I ain't going. I'm not doing that.
You did.
If I'm going to be a pop
Interesting,
star, I'm
isn't
going to do it my way. I'm not going to go on a television show. And I had friends that did the show, and I just heard a lot of fake things.
Mm-hmm.
Like they got their gold ticket, and they went down the elevator, but they weren't happy enough.
Mm-hmm.
So they said, let's do it again. Can you please be more happier? And I was like, I don't want to be that. I don't want to do
I
that.
see.
But
I
here's
wanna
the
be right.
irony. So just so
I
that you
see.
don't think I'm putting it down.
I ain't putting it
It
down
did
either. I love
Meghan
it.
kind of like a
No, but-
shade as a children's.
It was a
Day
little
thing.
shade. It was
Yeah.
a little shade, but then I got a rude awakening about 2 weeks ago. I was talking to Meghan Trainor. She says, you know, I actually know you from X Factor, and if you weren't on that show, I wouldn't have signed with you.
Well,
if
well
you-
now.
if
I
you-
just didn't know of him until that and my dad said the article. And I was like, who's the Reid guy?
Oh, okay.
So,
I was like, well,
so
that's
I'm
not
not
to do.
shading it.
Yeah, okay.
Because, you know,
Okay.
it certainly
Because you
worked.
knew him from
That's
X
when I
Factor.
became a fan, yeah.
Oh,
I didn't-
Otherwise,
Okay.
she would
I still had
she
a
would
little
have signed with Clive.
No, Clive. What was your job, Meghan? You said I had my job. What were you doing?
I was writing songs.
That was your job? That was a
Yeah.
full-time job?
My publishing company was a Nashville deal. It was a very young deal because I was a young baby.
Uh-huh.
They loved that I could produce my own stuff so they wouldn't have to like hire producers. I could just work in my bedroom and send them songs.
Uh-huh.
And they told me like write 12 songs a year and we'll help try to put them in movies. And they got me cuts with Disney stars and eventually Rascal Flatts.
Oh, I love them, yes. What did you do with them?
I did their latest singles that I don't remember the names. What are those songs? They're great. I like the sound of that, and
I love them.
yeah, I don't remember. The last two they just put out.
I love them.
She's a
So
real
you were getting
talent.
paid. You were getting paid for songwriting.
Yes.
Then you were getting
I was
paid.
living on my own at 19. Instead of college, I chose to write songs.
You'll like this. You'll like this, Mr. Trainor. Did your parents have a significant impact on your career and the choices you have made? Is it so? It's so inspiring that your family is connected and that your dad is here to support you.
My dad is here. My dad is the best. We're going to the Grammys together. Woo. My parents are the reason I'm here scientifically, but also because anything I needed, anything I asked for, I said, I want to play guitar. He goes, I know how to play guitar. Here's a guitar. I love you too. Thank you. And when he saw that, like my brothers, they wanted video games. So they go to school all day and they play video games. When he would buy me equipment, I'd go to school all day and I would use that equipment. I would show him, like, I appreciate you so much for helping me. I'm going to write you a song before dinner. Mm-hmm. And we would do that every day after school. And yeah, they're everything.
So your dad and your mom.
Incredible.
And I wasn't that great. Like, they just thought I was so cute. Finally, when I got signed, they were like, she is good. We knew it. Yes.
She is good.
Aha.
Is there anybody that when you look who's out there today, Meghan, that you would want to work with, you would want to sing with?
Absolutely. There's a ton of people I'm trying to work with. And just from the success from the first album, I've gotten a few names in that I really wanted to work with. And magic has happened. But I also want to work with Bruno Mars. I want to write a song with him so bad.
With Bruno, okay.
I say it in every interview I got.
You say it in every interview you
Every
got?
interview.
I think that's nice. Because I first saw you at the Grammys last year. And there was a whole big crowd around you because everybody was so excited to see you. It really isn't, you really do have an infectious way. I see exactly what Antonio's talking about when he talks about you.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. Welcome. I absolutely, truly mean that. I get it. We always get this question, but do you have advice to those who want to be in the music industry? Don't stand up in the middle of a panel and say, well, we'll go with you first, Meghan. What advice do you have?
Learn to write songs and then write 200 more and then write 500 more until you have over 1,000. That's what my dad and I learned when we went to all these songwriting conventions. I would play my little songs and they would say, once you have 200, write 500. So I went to him one day and I said, I have 200 songs. And he's like, that's cute. Give me 500. And I was like,
Wow.
yeah.
You make it sound like just write 200 songs, 500 songs, like that's normal, or that's really easy to
Sometimes
do.
in high school I would write in science class because like, you'd be talking about stars. I got A's, I was good, but like, I didn't want to be there. I just thought like I should be home producing this, and I actually snuck out of class a lot, and I went pee, and I would sing in my iPhone like, this is a smash, and then I go
in
home
class.
and I produce it before dinner.
So funny.
I know, I do think that's funny.
Not everyone was doing that. I was like the weird music girl, and like when I'd have parties, I'd have people come over, and they're like, what is this? I'm like, it's a studio. And they're like, let's record. And I was like, Get away
It's a
from my equipment.
studio.
Yeah, it's great.
That's Meghan's advice. Do you think everybody has to start writing songs? What if people don't know how to write songs? What if they just have great voices?
Yeah, whatever it is, I think that the real point is that you have to keep doing it, right? Just keep doing it until you're great at it, until you are as great as you can be at it, you know? And I don't think that doesn't only apply to music. I think that's a life thing. I think that whatever it is that you decide to do with your life, Malcolm Gladwell, Outliers. He says 10,000 hours, right? So whatever it is that you decide to do, you have to put in your 10,000 hours. And at that point, you are accomplished. And I think that's the key. Just be willing to put in the work, whatever it is.
I'm going to close with this in your book because I thought this was great. Passion is my superpower. I still don't think I've done my greatest work, and I understand that I've had to clean up my act, straighten my mind, and get back into my headspace. I was surprised that you said you don't think you've done your greatest work yet.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
I would like to think I haven't done my greatest work yet,
Okay.
right? My God, I really, you know.
What would be your definition of your greatest work? Because your track record, you know, when you think about all of the people that you've worked with,
Yes.
and the musical acts, you know, you've worked with Bon Jovi, you've worked with, the one that got away, Lady Gaga.
Yes.
You've worked with TLC, you've worked with Jay-Z, you've worked with Usher, you've worked with Meghan Trainor. I mean, it's just such a wide variety of people that you've worked with.
Yeah, thank you. But I still feel, I'm still invigorated, I'm still excited. I still wake up every morning wanting to do what I do. And because, it's really because of how I feel. And I'm not measuring it against any of the other artists that I've worked with. You know, I would just like to think that the greatness is ahead. I'd like to think that, you know, I can work my way there. You know what I mean?
I believe
and,
you.
And great to me is a really high bar. I think about the Bob Marleys of the world, and I think about John Lennon and the Beatles, and you know, I think about the greatest artist, Michael Jackson. I think about the greats, and you know, I want to meet one. I've met many.
Yeah.
I want to meet another one.
Okay, I
And
believe
another
that's going to
one.
happen for you, L.A. Reid.
And another one.
And another one. And
And
Meghan
another
Trainor,
one.
you close us out with your definition of success is for yourself.
Oh, I like what you said. That was good. The hustle, the grind,
Just keep grinding.
putting in the
right?
hours. You want to be a singer, sing everywhere, even
Yeah.
when you shouldn't be, except that. Don't do that.
Meghan, we are cheering you on. We can't wait for your new music.
Thank you so much.
L.A. Reid, congratulations. The name of the book is L.A. Reid, Sing to Me. Thank you, audience. Thank you.
And thank you, Gayle King, for being
Thank you. Thank you.